I had written down because it would inevitably sound pretty cool. Rachel, I'm so glad I'm speaking here where the balcony is completely empty and not with all those other people. As Dr. Reed was pointing out, I was chosen on behalf of my classmates to speak to you today. That decision wasn't based on grade point average or class rank or even good looks. It was based on a vote, and I received the most votes, so winning. Right? So that when Dr. Wiseman came and found me and informed me that I was chosen by my classmates, I began to think quickly, why had I received the most votes? And it dawned on me that perhaps it was my sense of humor. I don't think my classmates wanted to sit through, not that we've had any of these, but boring, cliche, riddle commencement speech. And so, you may think, well, this guy's pretty full of himself, thinks he's quite the comedian, and I'll tell you a story, I'm not the only one. And I won't say her name, but she's in our class, and it rhymes with Schmoleen. A week ago, this is a true story, Schmoleen comes and finds me and says, all right, Peter, and dead face, no smirk, smile, whatsoever, completely serious, says, okay, I voted for you because you're funny, and you better make me laugh, and don't let me down. So, Schmoleen, thanks for the pressure. But anyway, so that's when I really started to evaluate my sense of humor. And that's when I was mortified because my sense of humor is pretty dry. It's usually chock full of melodrama. And I often get the most laughs when I take cheap shots at people. And so I didn't think now was the best forum for taking cheap shots at the dean or somebody else's hand I was going to have to shake and undergo that embarrassing confrontation. So I'll try my best to keep the gloves above the belt, so to speak. Over the past 4 years, Dr. Provost, that's new. Provost Sands stole a little bit of my thunder, but over the last few years, 4 in particular, we've all witnessed several monumental events in our history. In 2008, Barack Obama, regardless of your political views, he smashed nearly 200 years of American history by becoming the first African American elected to the U.S. presidency. In 2010, Haiti was devastated by a magnitude 7.0 on the Richter scale earthquake, killed over 300,000 people and left over 1 million more homeless. Earlier this year, one of the 5 most powerful earthquakes that was ever recorded hit Japan. The unraveling U.S. economy, which has been great for all of us. The BP oil spill, way to go, guys. And more recently, the assassination of Osama bin Laden by U.S. Special Forces in Abbottabad, Pakistan. And it was during this same time frame that the 71 of us students standing, well, I guess we're doctors. The 71 of us standing before you today, we've been working tirelessly, diligently, with much sacrifice and without quit towards a common goal. And I'm very excited that today that dream has been realized for a lot of us. It's spanned decades. Like most dreams and success stories, they're born out of support and collaboration, teamwork, sacrifice. And I know without question that we wouldn't be here today without the help from our family, our friends, our professors and clinicians. So to our clinicians and professors, growing up my father used to tell me that your brain was like a muscle. The more you used it, the stronger it became. And while I now know, histologically speaking, that that's a lie, if we use that analogy, the 71 of us are some of the biggest young guns I think our country has to offer. You've not only prepared us for life as competent veterinarians, but you've created exceptional thinkers, problem solvers. In a society that's propelled by high fashion, expensive cars, extravagant vacations, and selfishness, you've demonstrated to us time and again selflessness and sacrifice, whether that was family, friends, or financial sacrifice. Yielding a life of private practice and certain monetary gain to help train America's future veterinarians. For this, my classmates and I thank you. To our families, I think a valid argument could be made that perhaps no one in this room has sacrificed more and worked harder over the last 4 years. We've missed weddings, we've missed birthdays, we've missed vacations. Even when physically present, we were preparing for immunology, we were preparing for the board exam, we were preparing for what the next day in the clinic was going to bring us. And when I look around and I see all the faces that I've seen a lot of you over the past 4 years, I'm not surprised that you're here to join in the celebration. You've always been here for us. We couldn't have done it without you, nor would we have wanted to. To my classmates, in 2007, there were 747 people that applied for our positions. We were afforded the opportunity, the honor, and the privilege. That means we had about a 10% chance of getting admittance right out of the gate. I'm certain that there were qualified applicants that were in that 676 people that were sent packing. Our average undergraduate GPA, and I didn't contribute to this, but our average undergraduate GPA was a 3.72. To me, that is just ridiculous. Over the last 4 years, we've lost 3 classmates in arguably one of the most rigorous graduate programs our country has to offer. That's a testament to your intelligence, your sacrifice, and your love for veterinary medicine. There are plenty of things that I'm going to miss about our program. There's a few that I'm not going to miss. And I hope you all will agree with me. I'm going to miss lightning rounds. I'm going to miss fluid rounds. I'm not going to miss grand rounds. I'm going to miss Wally Morrison. I'm going to miss John Christian, Katie Lewis, and Cafe Night. I'm not going to miss the 3 a.m. emergency call. Nor am I going to miss the 3 a.m. emergency call where you show up and the animal is not there. I'm not going to miss the 2 a.m. discharge, right, Dr. Oppenheimer? I am going to miss the Friday morning seminar heavyweight title fights. You've all seen them, you've been there. Pressler versus Hogan versus Constable. Pressler informing the presenter that they're dressed wrong. Hogan telling the presenter they're just plain wrong. And Constable wanting to know how we can relate this back to cattle. I'm not going to miss 89% B. I'm not going to miss 90% B. I thought that had to have been illegal. I'm going to miss clean hands and clean gloves. I'm not going to miss the airport parking arrangement. That I may as well have flown in from that distance. Remember when Shauna freaked out about her microscope bolt for the first histology exam, and then poor Dr. Hollinger had to show her that he needed to plug it into the electric line? Awesome. I'm going to miss typical cow behavior. I'm not going to miss this, and I've got to, yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. So that's the ICU fluid pump. Those things would drive you crazy. Craig, Nelson, Eric, Kyle, Michael, Mark, Andrew, Matt, Josh, DJ, Randy, the new dad. What's up, guys? I think perhaps the 12 of us, sorry, not 16. The 12 of us have worked harder than anyone else for having to put up with all of these strong-minded women. And there's a lot of them. See how many? I mean, there's just tons, but I'm going to miss the excitement with discovery and hope that permeates through the halls of Lynn. And most of all, but not least of all, I'm going to miss you guys. Veterinarians are often highly regarded in society. We've heard a lot of the roles that they have. However, society still believes in a lot of instances that we're capable of merely performing spays and neuters down at the corner clinic. Or as my cousin once asked me, how's cat college, Peter? It's expensive, it's awesome. But we know that veterinarians have evolved over the years to accommodate society and the demands that it places on us. Dr. Lewis alluded to some of those, but I think it bears repeating. Veterinarians work in food safety, whether dairy, beef, chicken. They work in large animal medicine and surgery, equine medicine and surgery. Pharmaceutical companies, including Eli Lilly and Company, Merck Mariel, other research arenas, including Boehringer Ingelheim. When you have research, you need lab animal veterinarians. There's zoo medicine, wildlife, aquatic, and marine, drug safety, animal safety, human safety. I'm going to keep going. We work in medical schools. We're virologists, microbiologists, epidemiologists, pathologists. We work at the USDA, the EPA, the Department of State, the Department of Health and Human Services, including the NIH, the CDC, the FDA, the Department of the Interior, including National Park Service, Fish and Wildlife, Department of Homeland Security, fighting bioterrorism. We work for the Department of Defense, including the United States Army, the Air Force, the U.S. Public Health Service, international organizations, including the FAO, the OIE, the WHO. We're also teachers, and if your dog has the sniffles, we can fix that too. most of all, we are physicians of many species. Despite all these roles, veterinarians continue to have stressful jobs. They often work long hours, make low wages, and often, including myself, have educational debt over 6 figures. Veterinary schools select for, whether intentionally or unintentionally, for perfectionist attitudes and sensitive overachievers. Most veterinarians have invested their entire identity into the profession. Veterinarians become comfortable with the concept of euthanasia, and we have unlimited access to lethal drugs. Discontentment and unhappiness creep in when some of the harsh realities of the profession take hold. It's not surprising then, at least it's not surprising to me, that veterinarians are 4 times as likely to become depressed and commit suicide compared to our average citizen. In 2009, I visited a psychiatrist in Indianapolis who proceeded to slap a few labels on me, one of which was clinical depression. I was given the option by Kathy Salisbury to take the year off, a medical leave, to get my act together. I witnessed melting relationships, an eroding grade point average, and having to come to grips with losing out on a life's dream. I made the difficult decision to write it out, risk failing out, and finish what I had started with my classmates. There were 4 reasons I was able to overcome depression and join the 70 of you today. Firstly, I was willing to communicate and get help. The other 3 reasons are seated amongst you. My mother, my father, and my wife absolutely refused to let me fail. You guys, we need to have a support group in place, and you need to communicate. Don't isolate yourself. To all the parents and spouses in the audience, heed this warning and keep a close watch on your veterinarian. To my parents and Meg, we did it. I love you. To my classmates, to my 4 brothers, Michael, Hanley, Jack, and Andy, thank you guys. To my classmates, if at any time in your career you think you're depressed, please call me and we'll work it out. In a world where material wealth is increasingly defining success, we are veterinarians, and no one will ever be able to take that away from us. We've earned it the good old-fashioned way with hard work. We put blood, sweat, and tears into this. I truly wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I encourage you to enjoy now, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. Walk with humility, and as Winston Churchill put, never, never, never give up. Thank you.